Oxnard, a gritty working-class town on California's southern coast. Oxnard goes all out in celebrating the holidays. And this is who makes it happen.
So much loving. Okay.
Gary Blum is in charge of tonight's tree lighting and almost every other Christmas event in town.
Hey, Pablo. Hey, Julianne.
He's been working non-stop since August. And despite the rain and cold, an audience is starting to trickle in. Oxnard doesn't have the money to put on a big event, so it simply celebrates what it is, multicultural and family-oriented and very creative. Not your usual elves and reindeer. But Oxnard is not your usual Christmas town. And now, what everyone's been waiting for, the lighting of the tree. And Santa's sleigh, with a bilingual Santa Claus. For many Oxnard residents, the holidays don't start until they see the float. But more rain is forecast. Despite their best efforts, will anyone show up for tomorrow's big parade? It's barely dawn, and Gary is already out, marking the streets for the coming parade. There'll be over 100 floats in all, and despite the lousy weather, everyone's ready to perform. A few spectators got here early to stake out a good spot on the sidewalk, or out of the rain. Gary is everywhere at once. No job is too small.
I'll do that. Okay.
And his volunteers will do anything for him.
I just call them, they go, yep, I'll be there Saturday. They know the routine and they just want me to be part of it. It's so cool.
And though he has a million things to do, he still gives directions to anyone who asks, then makes up for it by walking twice as fast. So what sorts of things keep a parade director up at night?
When you're getting the parade stage, making sure everyone's getting in line, you've got literally 2,000 people, making sure that they're all where they're supposed to be, making sure you have the volunteer resources directing people.
Okay, so you're going to be down this way.
How many horse droppings do we have to clean up? How much trash there might be left over that we have to clean up?
It's almost 10 a.m. Starting on time is critical. And they're off.
All right, we're good.
Was this something Gary dreamed of doing since he was a kid?
I did not grow up wishing to be a parade director. I don't actually remember even going to a parade when I was a kid, other than watching the parades on television. A parade is so democratic. It's like from the littlest kid to the oldest attendee. It's everyone. It doesn't matter about any economic level. It's a very unique experience for everyone to be part of something and share it all together. I think being part of a parade, participating of something greater than just yourself, is really a unique experience. And there's not much of that on social media. There's not much of that at the mall.
The spectators are having a great time as well, though apparently it pays to be in the front row. You never know what's coming next. From ballerinas to professional wrestlers. though Santa always brings up the rear. The parade is over. Gary and his crew kick back up into high gear. The stage comes down in record time, and the streets are cleaned. But wait, the festivities aren't over. Each year, Oxnard hosts a gingerbread competition.
My daughter's Girl Scout troop.
Entries are already pouring in. They'll be on display at the local church later on today. And if you want to give it a shot yourself, the church ladies will teach you how to make your own. For $10, they provide the house and all the candy you can fit on it. What better way to spend a Christmas afternoon with your kids? Unfortunately, Gary doesn't have time for gingerbread houses. He lives on Christmas Tree Lane, 4 blocks of historic Oxnard that prides itself on putting up elaborate decorations. Gary's been so busy, he hasn't had time to put out any lights. The deadline is dusk, today. He might just barely make it, if he can find his decorations. Gary is 57. He's been living in Ventura for almost 50 years. He never married, but he seems quite content.
There's all these connections, these touch points in the community, and I feel like they are my family. And even if they're my neighbors and friends that aren't my blood relatives, I feel like it's my greater family.
Once he's done, he heads off to check out what his neighbors have been up to.
How you guys doing? It's looking good as always.
He's clearly not the only one who's scrambling to finish on time.
I see you have helpers here. This is good. Looking awesome as always.
Gary has one more obligation before he can relax and enjoy the holidays. Each year, Oxnard rents a trolley to give tours of Gary's neighborhood. It's $10, which includes hot chocolate and cookies and a dancing Christmas tree. In fact, almost everyone dresses up for the occasion. Not surprisingly, the tour is narrated by...
My name is Gary Blum. I'll be your guide this evening. This is actually the 13th year.
What will Oxnard do if Gary ever decides to move away?
I absolutely hope to retire and stay here. How could you ever not want to follow what's in your heart to do? I may have to downsize a little bit, but I want to stay and keep doing it. When it rains, they have to cover that up with plastic.
Gary's greatest gift to Oxnard isn't all the hours he puts in. It's showing us a life well lived.
I think it's just being open to embracing things in the community. Whatever your passion follows, get involved, and it's going to come back tenfold. I have found that every single time.